Did you know that cats have an incredibly sharp memory? It's a biological fact that most owners completely underestimate. While we tend to think of cats as aloof or forgetful, their brains are actually hardwired for long-term survival, which means they store negative data with terrifying efficiency. In fact, cats have an incredibly sharp memory when it comes to bad experiences, and unfortunately, these negative encounters can do more than just scare them in the moment. We've all seen it, a sudden movement that leads to them running away, hiding, or even showing aggression. But the real concern lies in the lasting impact these experiences can have on their trust and connection with you. If you've ever wondered why your cat suddenly seems distant or wary, you might have unknowingly crossed a line they aren't ready to forget. Today, we are going deep into the feline psyche to uncover the 10 betrayals that can ruin your relationship forever. Let's start with the sensory world of a cat, specifically their hearing. Raised voices are one of the most common ways owners accidentally damage their bond. You see, cats have incredibly sensitive ears. Evolution has gifted them with the ability to hear frequencies up to 64,000 Hz, which is significantly higher than the human limit of about 20,000 Hz. This sensitivity helped their ancestors detect the high-pitched squeaks of rodents in the wild, making them the world's most efficient hunters. But in the modern American home, this trait is a curse. When you yell at the TV during a football game or raise your voice in an argument, your cat doesn't hear noise, they hear a physical assault. Imagine your hearing was amplified by 5. Every shout would feel like a thunderclap inside your skull. When cats hear these loud sounds, they don't see it as we do, they don't understand venting. They perceive the loud person as a direct, lethal threat. A groundbreaking study in feline behavioral science recently highlighted how cats living in noisier, high-stress environments show physiological signs of chronic stress, such as elevated cortisol levels. These signs can be subtle, like the cat hiding under the bed for hours, or more obvious, like becoming defensive and aggressive. To a cat, a loud owner is an unpredictable predator. If you want a cat that trusts you, your home must be a sanctuary of silence, not a battlefield of noise. The second major betrayal is teasing. This is rampant on social media, but it's a silent killer of trust. Teasing can take many forms: playfully pulling on a cat's tail, blowing in their face, startling them while they're deep in sleep, or picking them up and refusing to let go when they struggle. You might think it's cute or just a joke, but cats have a strong memory, especially for events that they find traumatic or unsettling. To a cat, teasing is a form of bullying. It creates a state of constant hypervigilance. They can no longer relax in your presence because they never know when the next prank is coming. This constant stress can lead to a physiological condition known as feline hyperesthesia syndrome. This is a terrifying disorder where the cat's nervous system becomes so overstimulated that their skin ripples, they bite at their own tail, and they become excessively sensitive to any touch. You are essentially frying their nervous system for a few seconds of entertainment. Once a cat associates your hands with teasing and discomfort, rebuilding that trust can take years of patient, hands-off work. Now, we must address the most controversial and arguably the most unforgivable act: declawing. In the United States, this is still a topic of debate, but the science is settled. Declawing is not a simple nail trim, it is a brutal surgical procedure that removes the last bone of each toe. Think of it as amputating a human's finger at the last knuckle. People often choose declawing to save their expensive furniture, but they are sacrificing their cat's physical and mental health in exchange. Studies have shown that declawed cats live in a state of chronic, phantom pain. Imagine trying to walk on tender, mutilated feet every single day. This constant physical agony fundamentally changes a cat's personality. They might start avoiding the litter box because the sand feels like walking on broken glass on their sensitive paws. Even worse, since you've stripped them of their primary means of defense, they often become much more prone to biting. They feel vulnerable and defenseless, so they lash out with the only weapon they have left. Declawing is so inhumane that it's now illegal in many countries, and for a good reason. There are countless humane alternatives, from regular nail trimming to scratching posts and nail caps. If you take your cat's claws, you are taking a piece of their soul, and they will never truly forget that trauma. Next on our list is rough play. It's a common misunderstanding that cats are just naturally rough players. In reality, how they play with us often mirrors how we've taught them to play. Cats naturally use play to practice essential survival skills: stalking, pouncing, and biting. However, when you use your bare hands or feet to wrestle with a kitten, you are teaching them that human skin is a target. When that kitten grows into a 15-pound adult with powerful jaws, that play becomes dangerous. When playtime becomes too rough or involves physical wrestling, it confuses the cat. They might not understand why their trusted human companion is suddenly treating them like prey. This leads to a state of arousal aggression, where the cat gets so worked up that they can't distinguish between play and a real fight. Paying attention to a cat's body language during play is crucial. If they start rapidly flicking their tail, if their ears flatten against their head, or if their pupils dilate until their eyes look black, it's time to stop immediately. These are the signals that they are no longer having fun, they are entering a state of stress. Continuing to push them past this point creates a negative association with you, turning what should be a bonding experience into a source of fear. This brings us to inconsistent or harsh discipline. This is perhaps the biggest mistake owners make in the pet parent niche. Harsh discipline, like yelling, hitting, poking their face into an accident, or using a spray bottle, actually makes things worse. Cats do not have the cognitive ability to connect a punishment with a past action in the same way dogs or humans do. They aren't connecting the punishment with the behavior, they are just becoming scared of you. A fascinating study showed that cats are significantly more responsive to positive reinforcement. This means rewarding the behaviors you want with treats, petting, or kind words, rather than punishing the ones you don't. Cats are highly motivated by rewards. They are much more likely to repeat a behavior that earns them a piece of chicken than they are to stop a behavior because they're afraid of a spray bottle. If you use fear to train your cat, you aren't a leader, you're a threat. And a cat will never truly bond with a threat. But it's not just the big things. Sometimes, we hurt our cats by skipping the small things. We're talking about basic hygiene, grooming, nail trimming, and cleaning the litter box. In the world of a cat, these small things are actually massive deals. Cats are obsessively clean animals. They spend up to 50% of their waking hours grooming themselves. A dirty litter box isn't just an inconvenience, it's a source of profound stress. Imagine if your only bathroom was never cleaned, you'd be miserable too. When we ignore their basic needs, we are failing as their protectors. A happy cat is a cat that feels cared for down to the smallest detail. When we ignore their basic needs, we are failing as their protectors. A happy cat is a cat that feels cared for down to the smallest detail. Neglecting their environment sends a message that their comfort isn't a priority. Over time, this leads to a checked-out cat, one that stops seeking your affection because they no longer see you as a reliable provider of comfort. One of the most overlooked betrayals is not respecting their territory. Cats are naturally territorial animals. This isn't just a preference, it's a survival instinct. They use scent glands located on their cheeks and paws to mark their environment with pheromones, creating a scent map that tells them they are safe. When you move their furniture, their bed, or their litter box without warning, you are effectively destroying their map. It's like someone coming into your house and rearranging all the rooms while you're at work. A significant point of stress for many cats is when their belongings are regularly moved. Studies have shown that cats who have consistent and unaltered access to their claimed areas tend to be significantly more confident and less stressed. If you want to improve your cat's life, provide them with vertical territory, cat trees, dedicated shelves, or window perches. These high vantage points allow them to survey their domain safely, offering a sense of security that is essential for their mental well-being. When you respect their space, you respect their identity. Furthermore, we must talk about the importance of rest. Regularly interrupting their sleep is a major feline no-no. Cats aren't just being lazy, they are biologically programmed to sleep for up to 16 hours a day. Their sleep pattern is all about conserving energy for the hunt, even if the only hunting they do is for a feather wand. Frequent interruptions of their sleep can lead to more than just a bad mood, it leads to chronic stress. Cats experience both REM and non-REM sleep, just like humans. During REM sleep, their brains are highly active, they dream, they process memories, and they recover from the day's events. Those little twitches and chirps you see while they're asleep mean they are in the middle of a vital biological process. Additionally, cats are crepuscular, meaning they are most active during dawn and dusk. This is when their wild ancestors would hunt. When they are sleeping during the day, they are simply following their natural biological clock. By providing a quiet, cozy, and uninterrupted place for them to sleep, you are showing them the ultimate form of respect. Then, there is the social media betrayal, laughing at a cat's expense. We've all seen the videos, cats jumping out of their skin at the sight of a cucumber, or being forced into tight, uncomfortable costumes for a funny photo. To us, it's a laugh. To the cat, it's a traumatic event. Let's talk about the famous cucumber prank. When a cat sees an unexpected object behind them while they are eating, they perceive it as a snake or a predator. This triggers an extreme fight or flight response. Finally, we have the mistake of forcing new interactions. Whether it's a new kitten, a new dog, or a new person, cats need time. When something new enters their environment, their first reaction is curiosity followed by extreme caution. They rely on scent much more than sight to recognize and trust. That's why forced introductions, like holding a cat and shoving them in front of a new puppy, are so overwhelming. This can lead to a condition called fear aggression. This isn't because the cat is mean or poorly behaved, It's a natural defense mechanism. They feel cornered and threatened, so they strike out to protect themselves. Scientists and behaviorists agree that gradual introductions are the only way to go. Start by scent swapping, letting the cat smell a blanket the new pet has used. This allows them to get used to the newcomer without the pressure of a face-to-face meeting. When you force a cat into a social situation they aren't ready for, you are telling them that you aren't a safe protector. Building a bond with a cat is a marathon, not a sprint. Because cats have an incredibly sharp memory, every interaction you have is a brick in the wall of your relationship. You can either build a wall of trust or a wall of fear. The choice is yours every single day. If you've made some of these mistakes in the past, don't despair. While cats don't forget, they can learn new patterns. It takes time, patience, and a lot of treats, but you can rebuild that connection. So, how do you know if your cat has actually forgiven you? How do you know if you are officially part of their inner circle? Understanding feline body language is like learning a foreign language, but once you crack the code, a whole new world opens up. There are specific, subtle signs that a cat uses to say, "I trust you with my life." Scientists have actually recognized 10 specific behaviors that cats exhibit only when they consider you part of their family. If you want to know if your cat truly loves you, or if they are just tolerating you, you need to see our next deep dive. We've analyzed hundreds of hours of feline behavior to bring you the ultimate guide to cat love. Check out this video right here to find out the 10 signs you're your cat's favorite person. And if you want to keep learning how to give your feline friend the best life possible, be sure to subscribe to our channel and join our incredible community of cat lovers. We're here to help you turn your home into a feline paradise. See you in the next one.